We are 48 schools across 14 cities, but together we are one Shawnee mission, because kids.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up. My name is Mike Schumacher. I'm the proud superintendent in the Shawnee Mission School District and host of this wonderful podcast.
Yeah, and proud to be your co-host. I'm Brittany Gonzer, Director of Professional Learning, and we are back for episode 3? 3 and 3?
Yeah, I think it is. Episode 3 of this year, season 3, 3-3.
I like that. Now I'll remember.
Now we'll remember, yeah. So we've got, as usual, 2 wonderful guests that we're getting ready to introduce here in a second, but we, of course, want to reflect back on our last episode. Where were we at, Dr. Gonzer?
We got to spend some time at Tomahawk Elementary, the new Tomahawk Elementary, and I don't know about you, but I was just blown away. That was unlike anything that we have ever built or seen. It was just a fantastic time, and getting to see just the shock and surprise on all the students and staff faces. That was definitely the best part. It was great.
I loved it. It was, of course, a great rebuild, but our guest, I think, really stole the show.
Terry, oh my
Tomahawk
goodness.
Terry really
That's
brought
right.
it.
You don't call her Tomahawk Terry for no reason. I mean,
Do not.
she knows everything.
And Miss Aldridge, Erin Aldridge, our principal there, she does such a wonderful job of representing her community, what it's about. She's a proud superintendent, getting to talk with one of our principals. She just did an amazing job, but the building shows itself.
Absolutely. And I think one of my biggest takeaways from that episode was just that conversation about how the building is new, but the spirit of Tomahawk continues. I just thought that was so wonderful how everyone continued to go back to that.
It's generational too. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a generational community. That neighborhood continues to regreen and get more and more people in there. Terry's a good example of that.
Perfect
She was a kindergartner there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she had some of her little, her artifacts and memories and whatnot, and that was just so cool to see.
It was so great.
You can't find that everywhere, right? That's
You
part of what
can't.
makes Shawnee Mission so incredible.
And of course, our communications team did a great job of getting some behind the scenes footage so our viewers could take a look and see inside the building. It was wonderful. Now, we were outside.
It was a little spicier outside.
Buddy, it was hot that day.
I would say we were glistening. Are you comfortable with that word?
Okay. I haven't watched it for fear of seeing how sweaty I was. But the communications team says that we looked fine.
We were glowing.
Yeah,
It was great.
I think they got that in post-production or something. But anyway, it was wonderful.
It was beautiful, and the playground was worth it. So.
It was really great. So we keep talking about being ridiculously positive. How about you?
Yep.
What in the last couple of weeks, what is something you were ridiculously positive about?
What I love about this sort of theme or mantra for the year is just how prevalent it's become.
Yeah.
So we sit down and think of these all the time, I'm like, gosh, there's just so many to choose from. I know I keep saying that, but one that sticks out to me in the past week or so was a really cool project that some of our instructional coaches took on. Mm-hmm. They got to be part of filming a new book that's being written by Diane Sweeney regarding student-centered coaching.
Someone told me about that.
It's incredible. Diane had reached out and said, hey, we know you're doing great work in Shawnee Mission. Would you love to be part of our book?
Yeah.
We're like, well, yeah, you literally wrote the book on this. We would be honored to be a part of it. So some of our principals and instructional coaches volunteered to be part of that work and spent some of their time on that last week. And it was just so cool to hear about their growth and their learning journey together through this. And just really a sense of pride in how focused on student achievement we all are.
Briarwood. We recorded at
Briarwood, Northwest, and then also at John Deemer. So
okay,
we were all over.
That's
yeah,
great.
It was
great.
great.
Well, that's awesome. For me, I continue to get these opportunities to speak about how great we are as a school district. The last couple of weeks, I had a time with our SMAC PTA, the presidents and principals gathered, and I got to share with them, and then the Northeast Johnson County Chamber as well. So the reason I think that is something to be ridiculously positive about is there's so many people engaged in public education. We had a full boardroom with our SMAC presidents, our PTA presidents, and then the bistro is full of people again in Northeast Johnson County supporting public schools and supporting Shawnee Mission. So I thought that was great. So
well, and how lucky we are to have that support. That's
100%.
That's incredible. Yep.
So great recap. If you didn't tune in to the Tomahawk episode, please go back and take a look at it and see if you can see us glistening. But anyway, a great episode. So let's turn to this episode. We've got 2 great guests with us.
Welcome.
Yeah, guys, you want to introduce yourselves?
Thank you.
Judd?
Yes, I'm Judd Rimmers, the Director of Facilities. I'm very pleased to be here to join you. I'm Steve McCord. I'm the head custodian at Marion Park Elementary School.
Yeah. So, Dr. Gonzer, why did we invite Judd and Mr. McCord to this episode?
Well, I think Mr. McCord's reputation precedes him a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like you're reaching like legend status. Everybody has heard of all the great things going on at Marion Park and about some of your unique experiences and talents as well. And we had to meet you in person. So thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you
today.
very much for asking me.
How long have you been at Marion Park?
Just a little over 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
And you have some other experiences, background. You served in the National Guard?
Yes, sir. I was in the Army National Guard for 16 years and in the United States Navy regular for 4 years. So
That's wonderful. Thank you for your service, of
Thank
course.
you.
Oftentimes we talk about, all of us being educators in the Shawnee Mission School District, all 4,000 of our employees. It's the beginning of the school year, Mr. Rimmers, and when we talk to you about who should represent, your side of the organization, you quickly identified Mr. McCord. Why is that the case? Why did you identify Steve?
Absolutely. So Steve's just a great representative of our operations and maintenance department. As head custodian for 10 years at Marion Park, that building, he just does an amazing job with his team. It shows like a brand new building. And then when we talk about how all of us kind of contribute as educators, it's so fun to see Mr. McCord working with students in the lunchroom, learning how to compost and recycle and promoting our sustainability program with our lunchroom. So that's really neat.
That's great.
Very cool. So, head custodian, 10 years, Marion Park, we've talked about that. What do you love about that job? What maybe do people not know about that role too?
The kids. I honestly have to say I think it's the kids. I have younger grandchildren myself, and I can relate very well to all of them there. I see a lot of my grandkids and the kids that are there. And sometimes I even get to the point where I think of them as my grandkids. So
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want to go back and really spend some time on this. All of us are educators, and at the beginning of the school year, we focus on our principals, we focus on our teachers, we highlight them. Of course, they're the end, folks who are working with our young people, but it's our custodial staff, it's our operations and maintenance staff to make sure that the buildings are in great shape, that the kids come in and they're not only clean, but they're glistening, they're glowing. So, Mr. McCord, maybe you talk about it. I mean, I'm guessing you take pride in the fact that it's your building, right?
Absolutely, it's my building.
Right,
You
absolutely,
bet.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that your building shows so well, and that
Thank you.
talk about that pride and all of the work that goes into that summer work and prepping for the kids.
Well, I think some of it goes back to the military experience as far as making sure that things are done correctly, and taking ownership of the building, the floors, the ceiling, whatever is going on that summer that we need to do to make sure that everything's ready for when the kids do come back in, when the teachers come back in, and then when the teachers do arrive, because they're always ahead of the kids, making sure that they have whatever they need to get things set up and ready for the kids themselves too. So.
I'm guessing we get that at all of our buildings. I hope.
Absolutely.
And you're transitioning back into this role from HR, but maybe talk with our viewers about all of the work that goes into all of our buildings, all of our grounds to get ready for the school year.
Summer is an extremely busy time
Yeah.
for our operations and maintenance team. We really do take our buildings and we go through them from top to bottom, and the goal is to again make them look as close to brand new as we possibly can. And so we take every minute from the time that the school is out in May until students return in August to complete that process. So that happens at every one of our buildings. In addition to that, we have summer construction projects.
Right.
Whether it's cycle capital work, doing parking lots, HVAC work, new flooring in select buildings, and then wrapping up some of our bond projects as well, as you guys saw with Tomahawk. So.
And talk about ridiculously positive, Dr. Gonzer. I mean, it was the case with Tyler Club. It's the case with Judd, and it's the case with all of his teammates. But it's never a no when you go to them. It's like,
Right.
Okay, we're on it. I mean, at the beginning of the school year, it's the hottest time of the year, right? We're getting HVAC issues, and it's okay. We're on it. We're problem solving with you. it's always this positive can-do attitude
Always.
that we're getting from all of our staff.
Yeah, it's incredible how much our operations and maintenance staff does for our school district, for our students and staff. And I always think, anytime we have an opportunity to shine a light on that, because so often it's behind the scenes and people just show up and it looks perfect and beautiful and it's ready to go. And maybe people don't know the number of hours that you have poured into that over the summer.
The people in our building, I don't know that they would even realize that this summer that we had all of the air conditioning units replaced on the roof. So
Perfect example.
that's a great thing where they can walk in and just go back to doing what they were doing before and not have anything to worry about.
And that's a sign that we did our job well, right? For your team, is if nobody even noticed, it just feels like
Absolutely.
it was always there. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's a great example of that, and that's one of those things that you really want to work on that first day, right? Like,
Absolutely.
makes
Especially
a
when it comes to
difference.
being cool. You don't want to be glistening.
Exactly. That's the
There
word
you
of the
go.
day.
There you go.
I love it. Well, tell us a little bit more about some of your daily interactions with students. What are some of those things that take place on a day-to-day basis? You mentioned it's kind of, you see your own grandkids and they kind of become like your grandkids. Any examples or fun stories from the field, if you will?
I think on a daily basis, just getting to see everybody. This morning, with it being Tuesday and a long 3-day weekend, you got an opportunity to ask several of the kids when they came in for breakfast if they had a good weekend, what they did, some of the places that they went, if they were involved in soccer. So I look forward to seeing the kids after especially after a weekend, find out what they did, if they had a good time or not.
Yeah, and gosh, that makes such a difference for them to know that somebody cared
so.
and was thinking about them.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
cool.
so.
Yeah.
It's always about those relationships, right? I mean, and it's not just the teachers that are building relationships with
Right.
kids. We want our students to make sure that they have a friendly face with some adult in the building, and that's you, Mr. McCord, in many cases, right?
I try to.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
try.
you know all the kids, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even the older kids, the ones that have been there at this point, with me being there in that particular building for 10 years, there's not, unless they're a new student this year, they've been there since kindergarten with me. So I know the 6th graders very well at this point as well. So
That's wonderful.
yeah.
So, Judd, I know you're always, like any department in our organization, we're looking for leaders, people who can kind of lead, the work that you're doing and be a leader amongst their peers.
Absolutely.
Mr. McCord is that for you. Can you talk about why that's the case?
Absolutely. Yeah, for many years now, Steve has kind of been the person that trains new head custodians or custodial floaters that are going to go out and help us open a building and kind of work through the school day. And so with Steve, doing it top notch for as long as he has, we really lean on him to help show anybody new to our department kind of how to facilitate a school day and do things the right way.
Yeah. Is that something I'm guessing you take a lot of pride in, the fact that you're a leader? Do you view yourself as a leader in the department?
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, I
Yeah,
think
I
I'm
was
doing what
wondering-
I'm supposed to be doing. So
I thought you might have a humble answer
Yeah.
like that, but how do you respond, when your boss here, identifies you as a leader?
Well, my boss, when I applied to the school district, I came in for an interview as a night custodian, and this gentleman right here was the one that actually interviewed me for that initial position. And during the interview, asked all the standard questions, and we discussed what my plans were. And at the end of the interview, he asked me to come back the next day and interview for the position that I'm in right now. So I respect Mr. Rimmers there very much for taking the time to look into my background a little deeper and what I had to offer the school district. So
That's great.
I appreciate that. I don't even know if the door got shut. When we were interviewing with the principal of Marion Park at the time, we said, that's the one for the job for
He's
sure.
it. Yeah, that's
That's
great.
an amazing feeling.
We talk, Brittany, about telling our story in Shawnee Mission,
Always,
and
yeah.
one of the things I remember saying to our leaders was we have this Midwest humility about us. Sometimes we have a hard time bragging about ourselves. I think Mr. McCord, you're probably a pretty good example of that, and probably your military background as well maybe has something to do with that. But I think this is the reason for this podcast, where we can, whether you want to or not, we're going to highlight the fact that you're a leader and you're doing great stuff for the
Thank
school
you.
district.
Yeah, telling, like you said, telling our story, but telling the stories of people. That's the great thing about this and this opportunity to meet and get to know one another. And yeah, it's been a cool experience for us. I'm glad we get to share it with others.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about your background. I don't think we can leave here without talking a little bit more about that too, because you do some pretty amazing work outside of the workday as well. You're a pretty well-known artist around here. You want to share with us a little bit about that?
Well, thank you for that. I don't know about the well-known part, but
You will be now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
thank
I've
you.
seen it.
I had a piece that I had worked on a couple of years ago, and it sat at the school for probably 6 or 8 months in the office. The office staff appreciated it, and people would ask about it when they would come in. And when the art show for the school district rolled around, I decided I would go ahead and enroll in that, or at least get it entered into, and was absolutely shocked and amazed when they called me into the library to tell me that I had won. So I was very proud of that, but I don't know that I'm amazing or not. So.
Well, to someone who is still very much growing in that area, I was amazed. So to tell us a little bit about your artwork. I was looking at some great pictures of other things that you have done as well, and just the materials that you use, and just share with us more about that.
A lot of the stuff is, I try to stick with found items, or a lot of times I'll take a trip down to the Kansas River and go along the riverbank and see what I can find. There's a lot of recycled stuff. You'll find that there are people who are giving away old leather couches or chairs. So I try to make sure that some of that stuff gets reused into the items that I'm making. There are a few people on Instagram that I watch frequently, and kind of give me some inspiration for some different things to try and do.
Okay.
So I have a good time. It's a good way to go down into the basement for a couple of hours in the evening, and maybe spend some quiet time and think about some other things and work on those. It's kind of an outlet for me.
And you do some work with your wife too, right? On
I do. I don't know if I can promote a
Go for
business
it.
or not,
Yeah.
but so my wife leases some space in hopefully it's a very well-known antique shop or vintage shop downtown in the West Bottoms called Bella Patina. So she and I have been doing this for probably 14, 15 years total, but there's a lot of furniture that gets flipped and or refurbished. My wife does a lot of sewing on jackets and makes bracelets and things like that, but it's a great another one of those outlet things there where you get to go meet some people that maybe you wouldn't have met before, and see some things that you haven't seen before. And a lot of times it's inspirational as far as some of the other artists that you would see their items that they've made or spent a lot of time working on. So
That's wonderful.
I'm very familiar with the destination that you spoke of, and my outlet is being the consumer of those things.
we appreciate that.
So now I have a reason to look out for things.
There you go.
Thank you for enabling me.
And I'm guessing our team is showing some of your art as we're going through this podcast, but just it's wonderful. We continue
Thank
to
you.
highlight it in the boardroom. Your piece from last year is highlighted in the boardroom. And
Thank you very much.
It ornates it very well. So Judd, I'm guessing you're so proud of not only Mr. McCord, but the rest of the team. Can you highlight maybe some other examples of other pieces of your department, whether it be the grounds crew, I mean, you name it, that are doing great work to make sure that our schools are ready to go?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we kind of touched on what summers look like for operations and maintenance, and everybody is working towards that first day of school. Whether it's our design and construction team looking again to wrap up those projects, our skilled trades with O&M or making repairs to the building that may be more difficult to get to during the school year. And then, grounds, we want our campuses to really look great for that first week of school, and so a lot of work goes into that. And then, of course, our custodial team going through our buildings top to bottom and making them look really great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Brittany, we'll leave you with the final question, but I'm
Okay.
going to give them a lead in, so give them some time to think about it. But
Sounds good.
because kids is our theme, right? So oftentimes we will ask people, what does that theme mean to you? You've heard me talk about it, about what it means to the school district, but I'll let you think about it, Mr. McCord. But Judd, what does Because Kids mean to you, and maybe in reference to the work that your team does?
Absolutely. Because Kids, we want to provide a learning environment that is inspirational, it's safe, it's clean, and that when we have our kids show up every day, they're excited to take on learning, and hopefully that environment can help with that.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
I look for the kids to have a positive, one to come to school. And I know sometimes with some of the kids at my particular school that maybe it's a safe place for them to come.
Yeah.
So we want to continue making it to be a safe place for them to be.
10 years at that school, the impact that you've had on so many kids.
I hope so.
I think so, right?
I hope so, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Gives you joy, I hope.
It does, yes, sir.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
I love the fact that you continue to come back, you continue to impact our kids on a daily basis. I can't thank you enough. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you feel that pride too when you go to Paradise, right? If you know Marion Park, Paradise. You really see that same pride that you have. Your students and your teachers, the staff there,
Absolutely.
they take that same
Staff
pride.
is amazing there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you really lead that not just amongst students, but amongst your community as well. So we thank you for that, because
Thank you.
that shines through with
Appreciate it.
everybody at Marion Park. So,
Thank you.
all right, should we talk about what we're up to next?
Yeah. So
Do it.
maybe before we do that, well, what's our order?
Do we have an order?
We don't
I
really
think
have
we
an order. We
just
just kind
kinda
of
go with it.
Well,
yeah.
guys, thank you so much for coming in and showing everyone what goes into getting the schools ready. Steve, thank you so much for everything you've done for our district for
you.
the last
Absolutely.
10 years. Great job. But just as a reminder that new episodes of the show will drop every other week on Thursdays. You can check out past episodes of smsd.org. Send us your story ideas. As we reminded you at the beginning of the year, we want to tell stories like Mr. McCord's. So if you have some additional stories, please communicate with our communications team so that we know what to highlight. So
Yes, please.
next episode, let's talk
Yeah.
talk about our next episode.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we get to tell a beautiful story on our next episode, a very special story, someone who very near and dear to many hearts, and that's Miss Olivia Bloomfield, a student in Shawnee Mission, whose story we have the opportunity to share and tell with some of her most closest people, and we are just so excited to tell you that story and tell you all about Olivia's legacy. So definitely make sure you join us for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. I was fortunate enough to go to a KC Current game recently, and I didn't realize this. I should have, but much like the Buck O'Neill seat at Kauffman Stadium, there's an Olivia Bloomfield seat.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
And so
I'm learning this right now, actually.
it's amazing. And so they
Okay.
highlighted an individual who, kind of adheres to her spirit. And so it was moving to
That
be
is
there.
so
and so,
special. Wow.
Isn't that great?
Okay. Yeah.
So please tune in for that. We're really looking forward to highlighting all the work that Olivia did for our school district.
Yes.
Before we leave, some
Yes.
thanks.
We always have to thank our communications team. Thank you for helping us put this together and reeling us in. And then we've got a featured photo that we want to be sure to call out this week as well.
Yeah, so the featured photo is from Crestview. It's the Shawnee Mission Northwest football team. They stopped by about a week ago to greet some of the younger students with fist bumps and high fives. It was a great example of being ridiculously positive and that connection to the
Yes.
feeder pattern.
I love Fist Bump Thursdays. If we could start that here, Dr. Schumacher, that'd be great.
Let's do it.
I think that has real potential at the
Yeah,
CAA.
let's do it. And so that's great. The Northwest football team is highly engaged in their community, as are all of our high school football teams. And as a reminder, this is dropping on Thursday, and so tonight we'll have our first games starting up, and then Friday, of course,
that
is
time.
Football Friday. So great time of year.
I love it. I'm ready.
All right. So again, thanks guys for being here. Remember to continue to tune in, and remember that we are one Shawnee Mission because kids.